Hello there. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Divine Soul Guidance. My name is April, and I'm a spiritual mentor and awakening guide, here to guide and support you through the stages of your spiritual awakening. Today's message was put on my heart as a response to anyone who's ever experienced resistance or negative energy as they start to grow and evolve as a person. This can be spiritual growth or personal growth, but it is very common as we begin to evolve and expand that sometimes we leave behind old ways of thinking, old ways of being, and that includes people that were once part of our old self. And as we grow and expand, this can cause a lot of friction with those around us who may not appreciate or celebrate our newfound confidence, awareness, or way of being. If this is you and you've experienced people throwing shade on you as you begin to shine brighter, then this message is for you. As you move through your personal growth and spiritual growth journey, it is important to remember that other people's reactions to your growth is never about you. It is always a reflection of what they have going on inside of them. And sometimes our light casts a shadow on other people's insecurities or fears or maybe unfulfilled dreams, and as a result can cause them to react to us negatively. Even though they may have good intentions for us in other respects, as we start to pull away from the familiar system that we were raised in, or the familiar group or context that we work in, that we live in, the family system, the relationships that we have, it can make others really uncomfortable. And sometimes we think we are doing something wrong. But today in this episode, I want to talk about why people can sometimes react negatively to our growth, our spiritual growth or personal growth, and how that is not a reflection of you, but why that happens and how you can deal with it if it happens to you. So first of all, let's talk about why do those closest to us often give us the least amount of support and love and praise when we start to grow and evolve versus strangers that we hardly know who are able to look at our growth and celebrate it. The reason this happens is that oftentimes we are questioning some sort of belief system or status quo, or we are breaking away from what could sometimes be an unhealthy system or a limiting system of some sort. And we are causing others to be uncomfortable as a result of our ability to move out of that system, family, workplace, society, way of thinking and believing. And this is never about us, as I said. This is always us shining a light on where other people are not living in their truth, where other people are not chasing after their dreams, where other people are refusing to grow and change, where they are maybe staying stuck in old patterns or old ways of thinking and believing. And as soon as we show them that there is another way and that we are choosing a different path, they are forced to call into question everything that they believe or the systems that they operate in. And oftentimes this can bring up very uncomfortable feelings in people around us as they watch us learn how to be more independent, set tighter boundaries, learn how to think for ourselves, become more aware of other people's patterns and tactics and sometimes manipulative behaviors. When we learn how to say no to people, when we learn how to take our power back, when we learn how to defend ourselves and stand up for ourselves, people are not going to like that. And it doesn't matter if you're on a spiritual awakening journey like me, or if you've just chosen to better yourself and learn new ways and improve yourself somehow. This is a very common thing. And I want you to know that if you're experiencing this with your family members, your closest friends, even your partner, that you're not doing anything wrong. You did not cause this person to feel a certain way because you said the wrong thing or you did the wrong thing, unless you genuinely did the wrong thing. But what I'm saying is, if you are focusing on yourself and you're growing and you're advancing and you are becoming a bigger and more expanded version of yourself, and other people don't like that, that has nothing to do with you. We're going to go into the psychology of that next, and why it is that people sometimes want to hold us back or pull us back into their familiar patterns or their familiar system, and psychologically what we can do to sidestep this. All right, so next let's talk about, why do other people try to dim our light? What is the psychological reason behind that? And why does our growth scare some other people into reacting a certain way? There's a couple of things at play here, but I want to give the disclaimer that a lot of times people are unconsciously reacting, and they are reacting without even realizing what they're doing. People don't realize that they are imprisoned in a system until they see someone else break out of that prison. And once you go against the system, whatever system that might be, whether that's a government system, whether that's a codependent relationship dynamic, a family system, an educational system, whatever system that you formally belong to is going to try to bring you back in line. Because if everyone is the same, then there's a certain level of comfort. If no one questions the status quo, if no one shows us a different way, and we're all the same and we're all like robots marching into the same rhythm, doing the same thing, then we're comfortable, right? There's nobody there to show us anything different that's going to make us feel uncomfortable. But as soon as we choose another path or we make a different choice, suddenly the foundation that that system was built on is called into question. People might try to bring you back in line, so to speak, or back to their level in a couple of different ways. Number one, you may notice that people don't celebrate or congratulate you. They aren't genuinely happy for you or wanting you to win. They maybe kind of make remarks or have this energy that just tells you that they're not believing in you, they're not genuinely cheering you on or wanting to see you happy. And you will sense that from people. And sometimes it's the people closest to you even. Number two, a way that people can try to dim your light or throw shade on your shine is by pulling away, kind of removing themselves or distancing themselves from you, because they feel uncomfortable every time that they are reminded of what they are not. Every time they see you growing and evolving and moving ahead with your life and making changes for the better, they are going to feel uncomfortable because they're reminded that they're not doing those things. They're not growing and evolving. And in general, those individuals will start to kind of pull back from you or change their energy from you. So you just feel more of this energetic distance or emotional distance between you, whereas before perhaps you felt more closely tied to them. And third, another thing that you might experience is that people start to question everything that you do. They're going to try to plant seeds of doubt in your mind or fears in your mind. Well, what if this doesn't work out? Well, why are you deciding to do this thing when you've always done this other thing? And you're going to notice that they're going to plant seeds of doubt, and they're going to try to get you to come back to their system, right? No, don't go that way. It's dangerous. You're going to fail. You need to stay here with us and follow the norm and stay in line with our way of doing things. And those are just a few examples of the ways that people might try to pull you back into the system. Suddenly, what's happening is that you are a threat. Okay, maybe they don't realize that is what is happening, but psychologically in their mind, they're seeing you as a threat because you're going against the norm. You're going against what they've always known. You're going against the way the other soldiers in the system are operating, and they don't like it and they feel uncomfortable. And even though you're doing something positive for yourself, even though whatever growth you're going through, whether that's your health, whether that's your mindset, whether that's your spirituality, whether that's your personal journey and trying to become, a higher and better version of yourself, even if it's positive, they may react negatively. And it's because you are going against, you're threatening their way of being, you're going against the system and the whole base or foundation that the system is built on. By being your own authentic self, by not caring what they think of you any longer, by not staying in line, you are a threat. And even though you're removing yourself from an environment that could have been harmful to you in order to follow a path that is healthier for you, they will not see it that way. They're going to see you as the traitor, the rebel, the one who doesn't, I guess, make any sense or think rationally. And it's because you are showing them a different way that scares them. So when this pushback starts to happen, and when people try to start to pull you back in line or pull you back to their familiar system, and they get reactive with you, this is what I want you to stop and ask yourself. I want you to stop and ask yourself, are you willing to compromise your integrity, your authenticity, and what your soul truly craves in order to belong to a system that you no longer identify with? Are you willing to compromise your dreams, to abandon yourself, and to stop listening to your own inner voice in order to make those people comfortable? To me, what it means to truly be a warrior of the light is to be able to stand firm on your own, in your own authentic truth, no matter if that means losing everybody around you. Because when God, the universe, the divine speaks to your heart and he calls you to a certain mission, he calls you out of a place, he guides you to let go of certain relationships, you have to listen to that. And if we are not listening to ourselves, and if we're not listening to the divine's guidance, we are abandoning ourselves. And other people will not know what it means to be in your shoes and to feel what you feel. They will not know what it feels like to hear that call in your heart, but you know. And that's all that matters. You know what you're being called to. You know the path that you're supposed to follow. And even though sometimes it doesn't make sense, and even though sometimes you don't have evidence of it working out yet, you are going to take that brave step to follow the path that you're being called toward, to be a warrior of light, even when you are going against the status quo and you're calling everything into question that you grew up believing. You are leaving behind people, mindsets, ways of living and being that potentially were not helping you grow, that potentially were holding you back, that potentially were way too small for what God has called you to be. And you have to stop and ask yourself, are you willing to abandon yourself just for the sake of belonging? Are you willing to give up your wants and needs just to make other people happy? When you know with 100% certainty what your soul is calling you to do, when you know what your purpose is, when you know what you will no longer tolerate and what is healthiest for you, you are going to follow that path no matter what, because you are a warrior of light. Even if it means that some people will not come with you, even if it means being rejected, being criticized, being ridiculed, being left behind, you will choose that path because you know in your heart that that is what God is calling you to do and what is best for your own soul's growth. Thank you for listening. I hope this message helped you today. If you want to go deeper into today's topic or any of the other topics on my YouTube channel, I would love to connect with you. Feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials or through email, which is linked in my bio below. Also, feel free to check out my Soul Awakened course and one-on-one mentorship program, which is designed for anyone who is looking for extra guidance and support in moving through the stages of their spiritual awakening, overcoming common blocks and challenges, and just having a sounding board, somebody that has gone on the path before you to help you navigate the challenges that it brings. Take care. Stay tuned for more episodes. Sending y'all my love.